So we're going to talk today about buyer representation. I did a similar session sometime 7 months ago, but yesterday in one of the offices, somebody brought up that subject, and I felt that it's important that we go and refresh this and go over again and again. So let's do it today, and we'll see how it goes. So many of you, actually 56% of you representing buyers. Why I'm saying 56%? Because from our transactions across the all offices, from the 355 agents that we have, 56% of the productions comes from buyers. So if 56% from the productions comes from buyers, it means that we have to address this again and again. Now, it's a wide range of items that we can go over representing buyers. However, we need to start with the basic. And starting with the basic, I want to touch today about, first of all, qualifying the buyer. You know, I've been talking to you a lot about qualifying the seller, to do a seller qualification before you go to the seller, to the listing presentation. It's going to make your life easier, and you will do a better job nailing that signature. However, we need to qualify the buyers as well. It's so important that we qualify the buyer. And the reason it's so important to qualify the buyer is because everybody says buyers are liars and buyers are so and so, right? Everybody agree with me that it's terrible, the buyers, and how much you're working with buyers, and they can't keep up with the world and everything. So yeah, Wendy. We need to make sure that at least on our side, we did everything possible to make sure that these buyers are okay, these buyers qualified, and we are not wasting our time, because our time is the most valuable asset that we have. I don't want you to run around old town showing properties. At the end of the day, these buyers will not be able to perform, or these buyers are not the correct material to buy a property. We all know that buyers sometimes they're going to give you a runaround just for the heck of it, because they didn't make up their mind. So let's go over a few of the guidelines. What do we need to do to qualify our buyers? So let's start. And this is a series of questions that we have to ask the buyers. And guys, it's okay to ask these buyers. It's okay to ask them and qualify them. And don't be shy. It's okay. Don't be shy. Now, I'm not talking about buyers that you know them forever. I'm not talking about buyers, some of you representing family and friends. I'm talking about buyers, let's say they came to you from Zap, they came to you from open houses, they came to you from Zillow, they came to you from various places, even from referral. But you got to qualify them. Guys, do yourself a favor, because if you're not going to do that, I promise you it's going to be a point that you say, why I didn't listen to Rafi, why I didn't write it down, why I didn't do it. You know, it's going to be your time, it's going to be your money. So don't be shy to do it. Yes, especially Zaply. So let's start. How long have you been looking? Guys, ask them a question. How long have you been looking? They might tell you you're the first agents we are doing with something, and this is now, we just made up our mind and we have started looking. Some other will tell you, you know what, we've been looking for 6 months already. We placed 12 offers on properties. Everything was multiple offers. We are frustrated. So that's going to give you an idea. For somebody who is It's on the market for 6 months. It's their perception is a little bit different than those on that just started. These that just started do not know what it does to mean to be a buyer in today's market, especially on the hard properties. So somebody who is been on the market, is being rejected, you know that there is a different way to handle them than somebody that just is first their offer. They're putting an offer, they think that they're going to have the 20% down, they're the king of the world, and the seller will jump on them. No, this is reality, it's not like that. So you're getting the idea of where the buyers start. So another question, it's a very, very important. Are you working with another salesperson or broker? If so, you want to know. So you want to know if they're working with you or working with another one. It's very important. I don't even have to emphasize about it because you're gonna know. You're gonna know if somebody else is competing with you and so on and so on. And we'll get to that later. How we getting a little bit the relationship a little bit with commitment. Now you're asking about the qualification of the buyer versus the property. So you're asking how many people in the family. Do you have school-age children? You need to know if they need the school area. You don't need to know school area. Do you rent or own your current home? You're asking the rent amount. Why it's important to ask for the rent amount? Because you want to see the person's capacity. Somebody who rents a $650 a month apartment, I don't think they're going to go right away to $4,000 a month PITI. So you need to know. It gives you a little bit about the idea about their capacities. Another very, very important question is, do you need to sell your home? If you own a home, do you need to sell? And by the way, you need to know because we have this condition continuously on the RPA if they need to sell. So also, it gives you an idea how strong they're going to be with the offer, and if they're not going to be that strong, how you maneuvering and how you getting into that. And same thing, if they tell you that they need to sell, you're asking them, do you want me to sell you the property? So you might get two transactions at the same time. So that shows you the incentive to get to that. Again, do you need, and for the people who are leasing, is that what's the lease period? Until when they stuck in the lease? I think we have one of our agents right now. They are in escrow. They forgot to tell that they need to break a lease. I don't remember who was that person, but that's a situation that you have to be aware of. Because if somebody signed the lease 8 months ago, you know for sure that it will take at least 4 months before they can move. I mean, unless they break the lease, and some landlords are not that easy. How soon do you need to move? That shows you the incentive, shows you part of the qualification, when you need to move. If they tell you 6 months from now, you know that the time is fluid. But if they tell you, listen, we need to move before the school starts, you know that there is a sense of urgency. And you know also here in the back of your head that when we get to negotiation, you can negotiate with your own buyer on the terms, because that's show the urgency of them to move. Because time sometimes give an urgency to people to pay a little bit more or be flexible. So that's a very, very important question. By the way, if you remember that question, when we qualify our seller, when we going and trying to set up the appointment, that how soon you need to move, it's a very important question that we're asking our sellers. If you find the right property out, you make a decision now. Now, for those of you who ever been in a car lot to buy a new car, you probably heard this from the car salesman and asking you, if I'll get you the right deal, are you prepared to make a decision now and drive away with the car? This is a similar question that shows the salesperson how motivated are you. So it's a very important question. Now let's talk about the price range. A lot of the people, They have, I call it a champagne dream and a small bank account. They're talking about, they think that they still can get qualifications like the 2005 loans, but they don't know that the industry changed. So they say, oh yeah, 700,000, no problem, no problem. So you get to know that and understand what's the price range, because you have to be in reality, not in the dreams. Do you have a budget for the monthly payment? Extremely important, guys. It's the same thing. People think that they can be creative with the loans and so on and so on. So they live in La La Land, and our job is to make sure that their La La Land is a reality, because their reality uh, might avoid us nightmare later on by going all over the place. Another question: how much cash do you want to use for the down payment? Cash is king, and without the cash, we don't have that. We don't have that situation to do with the down payment. And again, it comes to if you need to sell your property, and where is the cash? Did you source the cash in the bank, and so on and so on. We have a situation. One of the agents I just heard yesterday, she started working with the buyer. The buyer tells her, "Listen, I just deposited $40,000 cash in the bank, 40 or 70, I forgot what's the number, in the bank account." Boom! We know we can't do anything for at least for the next 2 months, because the lender is going to ask for the last 3 months bank statement, and they're going to see these deposits, and they're going to ask the source of this deposit. Doesn't look that good that our borrower is doing cash business. So that's a very important question, and don't forget, and that's okay to ask the source of the money. Now we're talking about the location. Location is very important, and again, it's got to do sometimes with the champagne dream and the small bank account, that people are looking for some areas that do not fit their budget. So they have some of those dreams, and sometimes they go and they look in all these online websites, and to see what's the average price range in the area. So average price range shows them 500,000, but go find a $500,000 property with their needs. So it's not that easy. So your job is to be the reality maker. Again, how many bedrooms, how many square feet, how many units, and so on and so on. Do you have a particular style? Now, again, you can ask all these questions. It's good to ask those questions. It's creating a conversation. But I'm going to show you about 20 questions, but you can pick up about 10 or 11, which are the most important for you, which gives you an idea. So the style is not important, but it's okay to understand that. This is a very important. Is anybody else will making that the buyer decision? You will be surprised that you're going to be working with a first-time home buyer, and they're going to be you're going to show them around. You think that they're making the decision, but they are not making the decision. The parents are making decisions. Anybody probably at that situation? I'm sure that a lot of you were in that situation. Ask this question. It's an important question. What special requirements? Some people will tell you we must have a pool. Some people will tell you we must have a single story, and so on and so on. So the more you know, the better you are. What time is the best for you to view property? Some people will tell you in the morning. Some people will tell you in the evening. Some people will tell you on the weekend. So you know where you're coming and where you're going. Again, how you want to communicate, it's important. The reason is that how you communicate and the way you guys communicate with them is to avoid the negativity from the client. And I think I made a presentation some times ago how to avoid, how to deal with the negative clients, and your communication is going to be greatly affected by the way you communicate with them. You're dealing with the negativity. And again, what's the best time? You're getting numbers, you're getting emails, you're putting them on your database, on your Zap, and so on and so on. Now, have you ever purchased a home before? So important, because you know if they understand the process. Some of them do not understand the process. Now, the last two are got to do with the lender qualification. Did you ever pre-qualified yourself? If so, how much you qualified, and who is the name of your lender that pre-qualified you? So if that's what you do, you're pretty good. You know where you're going. Now, very important golden rule. Very important, guys. I want to talk to you about the golden rule. So you're sitting down with your buyer, and you qualify the buyer, and you know that you need to show the buyer properties in Pasadena, and 3-bedroom, 2 baths in a certain pockets in Pasadena. You go to the MLS and you do the search, and then you start doing the auto mail. Everybody is familiar with the auto mail, yes or no? You know that it goes sending the prospect directly to the client, directly to the email that you put, right? Everybody knows? Everybody knows. Okay, guys, golden rule. Golden rule. Never, ever, it's a golden rule, guys. Have the MLS send the clients auto email. Never have them send directly. Don't put your client's email on the MLS. Always have this auto email send it directly to you with the properties, and you will forward the buyer with your comments. First, it's going to do two things. One, it's going to establish a connection. So it's not that just getting something from the MLS versus it's getting something that you write to that buyer. Listen, I think that this might be good for you because A, B, C, D. Okay? Or look at this house. This is not for you, but it shows you what's going on in the market, or show you so and so. So it's establishing a connection. It's establishing that you guys are thinking thinking about the client. Tony, what did you say? Whoever has the gold makes the rules. Okay. I don't understand, Tony. So that another thing is when we talk later on, I don't know if I have much time. If we talk later on about the procuring cause, that's if you sending this with your comments, it's establishing your connection to the client. I don't understand, Tony. I still don't understand. It's the golden rule. What are you asking exactly, Tony? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Tony. Okay, let's continue, guys. So we asked all these questions. We qualified the buyer. We are ready to hit the streets and move on. Okay? So, what do? We have, on the car forms, we have two types of agreement. We have this buyer representation agreement, the non-exclusive, as you can see here, it's circled. And we have another one exclusive. So what's the difference between the two? I can tell you as a golden rule, another golden rule. Tony, don't say anything. Another golden rule is that whatever you do, buyer representation agreement, exclusive or non-exclusive, I don't care. Just do one. Okay? Just have one. It's better than having nothing. And again, unless it's a family or friend that it's loyal to you, whatever it is, non-exclusive or exclusive, have at least one of them. So what is a non-exclusive? Basically, a non-exclusive means that if I'm the agent, introduce you the buyer to the house, you decide to buy, then I get paid when you buy. So basically, a non-exclusive means that if I introduce you to the house on 123 Main Street, I'm gonna get paid. If other than that, it's very, very weak. But again, I prefer you to have that one versus another one that you don't have. And again, I'm going to go fast on this because I don't have much time. I don't know how time run out. But you put here, this is where you put the over here, you put the address. Use the address. do a specific address. I mean, you can do anything else, but because it's a non-exclusive, use the address over here. Another one is that you use other properties in the attached list and so on and so on. So for example, if you have a few properties, you can put them over there. Now, here's the place. This is very important and I want you to pay attention. This is the place that you write your commission. So you're saying that I'm entitled over here to 2.5 or 3% commission. Somebody will ask me, how come you're asking the buyer to pay a commission? So it's very important that you know that buyers sometimes pay your commission. They pay your commission, especially when you don't have, when the house is off market. You introduce a property to an off market home. The seller doesn't want to pay commission. Says, bring me a buyer. That's not a problem. I'm not paying. So you come into the seller, to the buyer, and say, listen, I'll get you that property, but you have to pay me my commission. You know, they don't like it, but if they want the property, they will pay you your commission. I can't even tell you how many times we had buyers paying our commission, and we had situations that sellers and buyers paid our commission. So you are in a profit maximizing country, which is the God bless America, and this is a place of opportunity, and you can charge the seller and the buyer if that's necessary. Do you fill up once the seller accepted offer or before that? No, try them before that, because once the seller accepts the offer, that's it, done, zero. You might be out of commission, so you do it before. Now, a lot of buyers will say, hey, but if you're going to get the commission from the seller, let's say, for example, if it's on the market, that's a valid question, and that's why we have on the next page, we have that clause that basically saying, and it's important that you're going to show it to your buyer, basically saying that if you're going to get paid from the seller side, the buyer doesn't need to pay you. So it's important that you show it to your buyers, okay, guys? But get this signed, get this completed, because you're going to be without commission. The other one is the exclusive, the exclusive agreement, which I prefer the best. But again, as I mentioned before, if certain clauses, certain elements do not exist, none of these will work. And I prefer, if you cannot get the exclusive, I prefer you to have the non-exclusive. But what is the exclusive? It means that you get paid, you, the agent, get paid no matter what, who finds the home, even if the buyer enter into agreement with another broker. So that's why it's exclusive. Pay attention. You're going to get paid anyhow. This is the perfect one, especially when we have a situation, somebody else stealing your buyer. So you can go back to the buyer and claim your commission. Mary, do you fill up? Oh no, as Mark. So if you have a non-exclusive and says buyer, I don't understand that. So rephrase and rewrite. So again, exclusive it's a good one. You're gonna get paid anyhow. And again, as you can see here on the left side, you have to complete the locations. You can say San Fernando Valley, you can say Tarzana, Encino, Upland, San Bernardino, and so on and so on, and the amount of compensation over here. Now, again, we have the same clause on the other side, which basically, if anyone else pays the commission, if anybody else pays the commission, the buyer is off the loop. So let's see what Mark says. If you have a non-exclusive and say buyer to pay 3%, and then the listing agent says it's 2.5 on the MLS, you get the 0.5% from the buyer. Excellent question, Mark and Wendy. Yes, you are. Okay? Yes, you are. Because it says if anyone other than buyer compensate for service covered by this agreement, that amount shall be credited. It doesn't say that amount shall be replaced. Shall replace the buyer obligation. Say it should be credited. So if it's 3%, you have 2.5, boom, credited. Okay? Answer your question, Mark. Listing says 2.5 to selling agent. Selling agent is non-exclusive agreement. Yeah, That's exactly what it is. Okay? So, but guys, what I suggest you, don't write agreements that will get you into arguments with your clients. Okay? Especially not in the beginning. You understand what I'm saying? Buyer is you have no obligation. It's not like a listing agreement. So don't get into argument with your buyer at the beginning. Do the necessary to protect you. And remember, at the end of the day, if you're not going to do certain things, which we're going to talk about it, you're going to have problems to establish your commission from the buyer. Now, what is the best way to have this sign? Now, I think I mentioned that yesterday, but this is what I believe. You qualified your buyer. Let's say that you believe that there is a buyer that can buy a property. You show them around. This is the way I feel. You show them around the first time. Okay? You show them around the first time. You show them the properties. You're making a connection. You're making a chemistry between the two of you, or the three of you, or the four of you, or whatever it is. And after that, you're about to do another round. After you make that connection, before you do another round, get that buyer representation agreement signed. This is what I recommend you, because this is already, you made the build up, you made the connection, they contact you or they're willing to talk to you after the first round, and while you're doing this, there is a chemistry between the two of you, and you're not offending them by asking them to sign this. Now, another very important, if you are writing an offer, you're sending that offer with all these bunch of documents, disclosures, addendums, and so on and so on and so on. Don't forget just to add one of the items in the back, the buyer representation agreement exclusive on that particular property. Okay, remember that. When you're writing the offer, I'm not talking again to friends and family or people you know for sure is going to work with you. For those you pick up from God knows where. On everything that you do, make sure that you have a buyer representation agreement on that particular property. That will be established. It will help you to establish the procuring cause after that. Okay, so do this. Now, again, we're talking about exclusive and non-exclusive. They are all very, very nice. They are, as I say, better than nothing. However, they are not good when we have a certain situation. Who can tell me what is the situation? Quickly. Okay, when we have a situation that calling the procuring cause. Okay, procuring cause basically it means that somebody else took over your buyer and wrote the offer and got paid. In many times it's the listing agent. Now, I did a session about procuring cause. I can do it again in the future, but I want you to remember one thing. Okay, you're gonna have if you didn't, even if you had that the buyer representation agreement, you're gonna have a problem in arbitration to claim your commission if you did not maintain any contact or follow up with the buyer for at least 14 days or longer. Okay, you're gonna have a problem to do that, even though you have these two document signs. So let's say you got it signed. This is not a bulletproof. Yes, you're going to go to arbitration, and the arbitrators will ask you, show me the buyer's representation agreement. However, if you just send automatically from the MLS, if you just have him sign, you show him the property, you didn't follow up with anybody for a long period of time, that's going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem. Okay? So everything that we did today, okay, it's establishing you that at the end of the day, you will get your commission, you're going to work less, and you're not going to have any frustration. Questions, guys? Don't take anything for granted. You're right. Questions, guys? I made it right on time. Proud of myself. Okay, so have a beautiful days, excellent days to go prospecting. See you guys. Bye-bye.